Alex Bregman to the Red Sox. What are the implications, and what do you think of that?
Well, one, it's a fantastic contract. Look, $40 million a year. Congratulations. First, you look at that. It's $120 million. That's a really nice deal. If you look at the Houston deal, what, six years, 156 was kind of the offer that was out there, or
right.
7 years, something like that.
So
he did real well. He did well. Mm-hmm. I'm not buying the opt-outs. I never do, because where we're at in contracts is age-based. Alex Bregman's going to be a year older every time he tries to do this, and the older you get, that money's going down.
When you say you're not buying him, you mean that he's not going to take
He's not taking them. At 40, he's not getting 40 a year.
Okay.
I think he's staying in Boston. The other thought that I have was he's moving to second base. And I think the Red Sox, with the contract that they have with Devers had the leverage. That is your guy. You know, to sit there.
Did you say Devers had the levers?
Had the leverage.
Oh, okay. I thought you were.
He has the levers, too. But, no, I think he has the leverage in that situation. You have to go to your franchise guy and say, hey, we want to move you to first.
Right.
He said, I'm 26 years old or whatever he is. I'm not moving.
Right.
And so that forces Bregman to go to second base. And Bregman can play second base.
You know, we had this exercise here putting Bregman into all three of the pursuing lineups, right? The Red Sox, the Tigers, the Cubs. All of those lineups look a lot better with Alex Bregman. But specifically here with the Red Sox, Harold, what they needed was a right-handed bat. And they got the best remaining right-handed bat on the market. Some would say he was the best right-handed bat on the market even at the beginning of the offseason.
Well, plus he fits that ballpark. Pulls the ball. It's not that much different than Houston. The wall's a little bit higher, but, you know, you got the short porch in left field.
Great career numbers for him.
Yeah, he got a lot of those early.
Choked up, it's such a good deal.
He kind of did his breakout when he was facing Sale there in the postseason that one year and hitting all those home runs in Boston.
Even his regular season numbers there, which there's not a ton of them, of games, that is, and at-bats, but good numbers. WAR leader since the start of 2023 at third base. And again, the expectation is he's going to play second now, and he ranks very favorably in that category as well. So the Red Sox make the big splash. I had them third on the depth chart. You thought it was going to be the Cubs. I was kind of deferring to you. I thought the Cubs and Tigers both made a case for needing him more. But it's the Red Sox who, despite not spending a ton of money the past couple years and going in a different direction and assembling this treasure trove of prospects, they make a big splash with this signing.
Coming down late Wednesday, Alex Bregman has signed a 3-year, $120 million deal with the Boston Red Sox. It's being reported that Bregman turned down a 6-year deal worth $170 million in favor of signing with Boston. There is Bregman, the longtime Astro, 9 seasons there, 2 World Series crowns. We dive into it. JP Morosi with us. Your reaction to this big late-breaking news.
Tony, this is significant news. First of all, we can now officially begin spring training now that Alex Bregman has signed. This was really the last major bit of news we were waiting on, and there were a number of teams still involved, the Cubs, the Tigers. There was still that lingering possibility that he would go back to Houston, but this changes, Tony, the American League East, because the Boston Red Sox now have a legitimate lineup to threaten that of the New York Yankees, and here's why. The Yankees have lost Juan Soto. Yes, they were able to add in Cody Bellinger and Paul Goldschmidt, but Bregman is a proven postseason performer who they can now add into this lineup with Rafael Devers. They've got a promising group of young players coming in, like Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell, Marcelo Meyer at some point, whether it's this year or next year. And here is what the lineup could look like. It's interesting that we have it on the graphic, and it's a very legitimate question where exactly Bregman's going to play, because he could play second, but that would mean that Christian Campbell would not be in the lineup. If Bregman were to play third, that means Devers is the DH, and Masataka Yoshida could be on the move via trade. So there's still some secondary and tertiary effects of this signing for the Boston Red Sox, but John Heyman was first to report it, and Tony, the key thing here is Flexibility on both sides. Bregman gets that $40 million AAV, but he can opt out after 25. He can opt out after 26. And the Red Sox avoid that sort of long-term commitment that could really impact the long-term future of someone like a Christian Campbell.
This prompts the question, what's next for Nolan Arenado?
Yeah, Tony, it's a great question that you ask because Arenado is now that next domino to fall with the third base conversation. A lot of the same teams we were hearing on Bregman had interest as well in Nolan Arenado. And the 10-time Gold Glover, one of the preeminent defenders of his time at any position, it seems as though his time with St. Louis is winding down, but they've had a hard time finding a team that could take on the entire salary. So the natural pivot could be the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers maybe weren't the team that Arenado thought he was going to at the outset, but certainly the Tigers right now, Tony, a better chance to make the playoffs than the Cardinals have. A young team in Detroit that would certainly benefit from Arenado's leadership.